Good morning and welcome to Brain and Balance on Zoom. My name is Hannah and I am a senior fitness instructor with Stonebridge Community Services. And welcome. Strength and Balance is, Zoom and Brain and Balance will be about 30 minutes. As the name suggests, we'll work on some balance exercises and we'll need to be close to some kind of support furniture for those exercises, and then we'll work using our brains a little bit. We'll do some kind of hand and brain exercises, some brain teasers. We'll make our brains work in a different way, testing our memory, our concentration, our focus, and all those good things. And then we'll have a little stretch and we'll finish then in about 30-ish minutes. So we don't need any equipment for this class. Like I said, the support furniture and then a bottle of water is always nice to have on hand. And sometimes we start with a little bit of a chat. And I wanted to talk a bit about the weather. So if you're watching this live and there's no one in the southern hemisphere, I was going to say if you're in the northern hemisphere, but I think that's pretty safe to assume that we all are. It is winter. And winter seems to have really arrived here for me, for sure, this week. In a strong way. It's cold and there's been some snow, and there's been a lot of snow around, not where I am, but it's definitely feeling very chilly, and that can be complicated for traveling and things like that. And it can also be complicated for people's mood. Not everybody loves the weather, and it's pretty common to feel kind of raw and down at this time of year, and even to have some symptoms of like a seasonal affective disorder, which is a real mental health disorder that affects your mood during the winter, during those darker months. And it does get dark here pretty early, and daylight, definitely at a minimum. So I want to think about some ways that we can kind of combat that. Some things that we can do to make ourselves feel better about the cold weather. I actually don't mind the cold weather. I'm quite a cold weather fan, but I don't love the snow. I feel like at best it's inconvenient, and at worst it can be really dangerous. I really don't like to drive when it's very snowy. But what sounds like a silly thing and is pretty simple, that has helped me to not dread the snow, is I cannot control it. And I really try not to spend my time worrying about things that I can't control. And also a little phrase that I like to repeat to myself is that whether I like it or not, whether I embrace the snow or whether I am angry that it's snowing, the amount of snow that we will get remains unchanged, despite my mood. And that kind of helps me to say, like, the negative energy serves no one but me. If I feel badly about the snow will not stop. So kind of surrendering control, I guess, the things I can't control, and making sure that I have decent tires on my car, watching the weather forecast and kind of making those good decisions about traveling. I can control those things, but I can't control the snow. And so that helps me kind of, be a little bit more neutral about it. Some other things that we can do to kind of boost our spirits when it's cold and grey and kind of horrible. I just like to tell myself that it's a season, and it is a season. We had a great summer and we had many months of nice weather, and this is a season too. We had autumn, which is always glorious, and spring will come. The one thing that we cannot change is that inevitable forward march of time. Every day that goes, we're closer to the shortest day, and things get brighter after that. So kind of leaning into the season, accepting it as just another part of the year, the same as the summer. Some of us don't like the hot weather, but we try and embrace that too. So just sort of leaning into the season. Some things that you can do at this time of year that aren't so fun in the summer. Maybe you know, like certain foods, and really making sure you kind of lean. I like to think about romanticizing stuff. So it like eating hot food, nourishing food, like a soup or a stew. You might think, oh, I have to eat this hot food because it's so cold outside and I really want to warm up. Or you could think this is a cozy season and I'm nourishing myself with this warm food that's going to warm me up inside. I'm saying the same things, but I'm trying to be a little bit more positive and, like, you know, slightly more romantic about it. You can get lamps that are like a daylight lamp, that help you to, you know, have enough brightness, because that can be a real mood sapper, is having, you know, hardly any daylight. Obviously we do have daylight, but it's like today here for sure is grey and cloudy, and those days where we see the sunshine are a little bit less. So making sure you have that, you know, if that really affects you, maybe thinking about one of those daylight lamps, and having that brightness, being outside as much as you can. I know it's cold and horrible, but there's usually sometimes in the day where you can get out and, you know, shelter behind some trees if it's windy. I definitely do that. But having that outdoors time, embracing the foods of this season, you know, making your home nice, extra blankets, things that you wouldn't do, you know, when we're in the summer, we're out and about and we're outdoors, but leaning into the indoors and just making it like, I do different things in the winter than the summer, and there's a time for this, and trying to kind of embrace those things. Yeah, seasonal affective disorder can be really serious. And obviously, if that's something you feel like you struggle with, I would definitely not put all of your trust in having a nice soup, but reach out to mental health professionals, to your family doctor. But yeah, I wanted to touch on that just because there can be a lot of negative feeling about the winter, and that's hard to really dread that season. So anyway, let's keep going. I've talked enough. We're going to warm up. So let's come up to feet. You have to excuse my outfit this morning. I'm leaning into winter and I've got really long socks on and a big fleece, but it's chilly in my kitchen. So let's stand up nice and tall. We definitely need a good warm up this morning. Marching on the spot, letting those arms move forwards and backwards, relaxing those shoulders. Good, and let's take a nice deep breath, big inhale, reach those hands up, exhale, lower down. Good, deep breath in, reach those hands up and out. Good, and again, reach up and lower down, and one more, lift those hands and lower. Good, let's pull those shoulders up towards our ears, relax them down, lift those shoulders and lower. Good, shoulders up and down, lift and lower. And let's roll our shoulders, nice big circles. Good, nice and slowly. And let's roll those shoulders forwards. Good, let's bring those arms out to the side, make some little circles here. And back in the other direction. Good, let's reach those hands forward, nice big circles. Good, like we're swimming. Good, back in the other direction, big circles backwards. Once more. Good, let's take that left foot and we're going to tap our toes. And we'll wiggle our fingers. Good, switch to the right, tap your toes and tap our fingers to our thumb. Good. Tap your heel on that first side and let's circle our wrists. Good. And tap that heel on the other foot. Circle those wrists in the other direction. Good. Let's take that first foot, tap your toe and your heel. And let's move those arms. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Good. And let's switch to the other side. Tap your toe and your heel. Good. Let's march on the spot again. Take those knees up a little bit higher. Good. And then stand with those feet hip width apart. And we'll circle our hips nice and slowly. Back in the other direction. Excellent. All right, into our balance here. Let's make sure we're using that support furniture to help us where we need to. So a hand close to the chair, the table, the back of the sofa, the wall. I'm going to stand with my feet right in front of the other. So I'm heel to toe. My knees are soft. I'm standing up nice and tall, and my shoulders are relaxed. I'm going to take one hand to the ceiling and the other, arms out to the side, and let's reach one hand forward, one hand backwards. And the other way. Good. Back to center, relax those arms, and let's switch our feet around. Standing up nice and tall. Good. The weight even between both feet. Holding here, and I want you to close your eyes and hold those eyes closed. Whoa. Have a hand close to the, the support furniture because you might find yourself quite wobbly once you close those eyes. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then open. Good. It's tricky. You close your eyes, you take away that vision, and it really affects that balance. Let's take one foot and we're going to step it forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Good. 2 more. Good, and then switch. So the other foot is the moving foot. Step backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. And try and close your eyes for 1 step. Good. You can see where I close my eyes. Good, excellent. Let's keep going with that heel to toe, and we will tightrope walk. Good. Relax through those shoulders. Looking up and ahead. Good. Let's see if we can close our eyes for 1 step. I can't. Maybe you can. So you really want to have that chest nice and tall. Move slowly, feet close to each other. Good, a couple more. Good, and back to center. Excellent. Let's stand with our feet a little wider than hip width apart here. And we're going to shift our weight from one foot to the other. Nice and slowly. We're keeping our feet on the floor to begin with. Good, and shifting one foot, then the other. And let's add our arms. So as I move to the right, I'm going to reach my right arm out. And as I move to the left, push with that left arm. Nice and slow. Good, and let's take those feet off the floor, lifting up, stepping from one foot to the other. As we step onto that left foot, let's raise the right and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then onto the left foot, raise the right and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Onto the left foot again. This time raise your arms in the air. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And onto the left, raise the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax those arms. Excellent. We're going to stand on our right leg. So make that right foot nice and relaxed, knee soft. I'm going to lift my left knee. So my knee is up, my foot's off the floor, and at the same time, I'm going to raise that left arm. So reach up and lower down. Good. Nice and slowly reach those hands up. And good. Once more. And let's switch to the other side. So standing on that left side, on that left foot, I'm raising my right knee and my right arm. Nice and slowly, we don't have to reach that foot too high. We really want to place that foot slowly back on the floor. Once more. Good, relax that foot. Excellent. We're going to stand on one leg a little bit more here. So let's stand on our left foot. And I'm going to tap my right heel forwards. I'll stand up nice and tall and be relaxed through my shoulders. And take that heel up off the floor. When you're ready, take one arm forward. Keep that hand free. Keep one hand free for holding the chair. Then try and find something to look at that isn't moving, so you can focus your eyes. Hold that balance here. Good. If you can, take that second hand up and we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet on the floor. Let's stand on our right leg. Tap that left heel forwards. And let's lift that left heel up off the ground. Now reach one hand forwards. Good, nice and relaxed here. And let's reach that other hand if we can. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And feet to the floor. Excellent. Let's have a seat. Have a drink here if you want to. We're going to move on and look at our brain stuff. So we're going to start by working on those finger taps. We did a little bit in the warm-up there, but we're going to expand on that here. So let's hold up those hands and we're going to tap our fingers to our thumbs, starting same, each hand's going to do the same thing, starting with that index finger, moving all the way to the little finger, and then going back to your index finger. So one tap on each finger. Good, nice and easy. Let's try and tap twice on each finger. Good. Each hand should be doing the same thing. Great. And this time, one tap on each finger, we'll get to that little finger and then we'll go back up to our index finger. So you go index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, and then switch direction back to that index finger. So try that on both hands. So we're doing the same thing. Good. Excellent. All right, we're going to make it slightly more complicated. So on our left hand, index finger first, that's always the start finger. So we go index finger to little finger. When you get to that little finger, jump back to your index finger. One tap on each finger. Good. Take the other hand, your right hand, and start with your little finger to index, starting with that little finger. When you get to your index finger, jump back to that little finger. Good, and let's start both hands from different spots. So our left hand starts with our index finger and our right hand starts with our little finger. And they're going to move simultaneously, but in different directions. Now, a tip to help you, you should never be tapping the same finger on each hand at the same time. And if you find yourself that you are tapping, for example, both middle fingers at the same time, then something has gone wrong. So I'm going quite fast. If you are moving slower, don't be discouraged. Tap those fingers as slowly as you need to get it right. So one hand starts with the index finger and one hand starts with our little finger. Good, we'll do this a couple more times and then we will move on to something else. What would be a good exercise is if I switched around. So maybe we'll do that once. My right hand, I'm going to start with my index finger, and on my left hand, I'm going to start with my little finger. I want to make sure I can do it in each direction. So when you're doing, different direction work like this, you want to make sure you can do it both ways. And I can, but not quite as easily as I can the other way. Good. I have to kind of look at something off in the distance. Oh, I went wrong again there. Good. And when you go wrong, being able to catch yourself and notice that mistake is good progress too. So making mistakes is not always a bad thing. If you can catch the mistakes, then you're learning. Good, excellent. Let's do a different one. One People tell me this is pretty easy, but we'll see. In one hand, you're going to hold out 2 fingers, like that bunny ear. On the other hand, we have 1, and you're going to cross them over each other. It looks like you're making an A shape, and then you'll switch. So that single finger lies on top of the 2 fingers, and they switch positions. Oops. Every time I do this in class, people say it's pretty easy. If you don't find it easy, don't be discouraged by that. I think all of our brains work in slightly different ways. I think what people find easy about this is that that index finger is always, you know, you're not moving that many fingers, just the first 2. And that index finger is always, always working. And so it's just a little bit less complex than some of the others that we do. Oops. Good, excellent. Well, I said we'd be 30 minutes. I guess I talked for quite a bit at the beginning, so let's do one more. On one hand, we're going to hold up our thumb. I'm going to change the angle of my camera. One hand, I'm going to hold up my thumb, and on the other hand, I'm going to hold up my index finger. And then I'm going to switch. So this hand holds up my thumb. On this hand, I'm going to hold up my middle finger. It's not pointing at anyone, so we're fine. For the purposes of this exercise, it's acceptable. Thumb, and then third finger, your ring finger, that's really tricky. And then again, thumb and little finger, and then back. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. And we'll try and start the other way. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. So the difficulty for me here is not knowing which finger comes next, but it's isolating those fingers, especially these 2, the middle finger and the ring finger. Find it hard to raise those, especially that ring finger doesn't like to do anything by itself. So holding that finger up by itself. So I'm working not only my concentration, my memory of the routine, but also the dexterity of my fingers. So how easily I can move them and how easily they can move independently of each other. So yeah, lots of layers to this one. Let's try it again. Thumb on one finger, middle finger, little finger. Oh, so that's ring finger, little finger. And then we'll try it again, but switch around. No, we want to start this way. Thumb on the right for me, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. So yeah, that ring finger really slows me down from being very fast with that one, just because it's so hard to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, I don't find this one too hard. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't find it too difficult. Just yeah, that ring finger, it really doesn't like to do anything anything on its own. All right, that 30 minutes went extremely quickly, but we are going to end at 30. I have a snowy drive and I would like to give myself a little extra time, and I hope that you'll appreciate that and be understanding. So let's have a short stretch. Feet here, we're going to stand with 1 foot forward, bend that front knee, back heel on the floor. Let's stand up nice and tall, and we're going to reach one arm to the ceiling. Take some deep breaths here. Good, and let's switch to the other side. Bend that front knee, back heel on the floor, and let's reach up to the ceiling. Good, relax that arm. Let's reach behind us, reach for the back of the room, stretch those fingers right out. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, wrap those arms around you. Nice tight squeeze. And pat on the back. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed. And I will see you maybe in person or maybe on Monday for Zoom again. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.